So every time I see this guy in the office, like I want to do push-ups. And I know you think that I'm buff, but when I see him, he's like actually legitimately buff. And that's why today in the Signature Studio Spotlight Series, we have the spotlight on somebody that's oh so bright, Mr. Anthony Lauria.
Thank you.
Like,
Susan.
Gloria,
Gloria!
Gloria.
Just don't call me Lori, right?
Okay, little girl.
Thank you for having me, John, and Susan as well.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
I've been seeing you in the office the past couple months here, and you are either doing a lot of push-ups or you're doing a lot of sales, and so I think you're probably doing both. And so,
Honestly, trying to be consistent with both. That'd be the honest answer. But
yep.
Coincidentally, my gym is right next door. It's the only gym that doesn't make you wear a mask pretty much in town right now. So
Very cool.
It's literally you cross over the street, and that's my gym.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
So if I don't have appointments or something important going on, that's why I look like a bum half the time. I come and work out, or vice versa, just come here and then work out. And
He calls himself looking like a bum, but he walks in and all the guys are like, I wish I looked like that bum.
That's what I opened with. I wanted to do push-ups.
not the angle I'm shooting for, but thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to the show, man. And so here today, we're here to talk about your real estate career, your life, what made you who you are, why you are the success that you are. And so the spotlight's on you, buddy. So let's get started, man. How did you get into real estate?
Gosh, little broad, but I think to summarize that would be kind of centered around the gym again. One of the main influences initially, there was two. Ryan Garland, actually, Paradigm. I had always seen him and his wife at the gym, and I'd seen his badass car that he would roll up in, and we just pass by the water fountain and do the what's up thing, and there was one point I was like, all right, I'm going to stop. What does this guy do? And that's what I asked him.
How did he land that hot one?
Well, I didn't say that respectfully, Ryan.
Because she's beautiful.
Oh, she is. Yeah, of course. But it was mainly, I was just like, what is this? I knew he was similar to my age, maybe a little older, obviously. But, and I asked him, and he said real estate. And then literally we connected pretty quick from there. And he had kind of said, told him what I did. I was working at sales at another job at the time. And he just said, yeah, dude, you should look into it. I think he even invited me, him and Kara invited me up to their house. They were living in Duluth at the time, went to a pool party, barbecued, stuff like that. Then the wheels started turning. From there, I literally looked into it and got registered on my schooling and kind of did that lazy, like, I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing. And 10 months goes by, I didn't even do anything with the school. As bad as it is, I called up for an extension through Allied Real Estate School. Hey, I just kind of salesman them, like made up some bullshit, and I felt like they had been through this before. And they're like, we'll just put you on an extension. I was like, all right, great. So then I took it serious. 3 months later, I knocked it out. But incorporated with that too was in that interim period was another friend and one of my lenders, one of my preferred lenders now, Justin Grable. I had known him for years, and he was like, get into real estate. And it was a combination of that, and then I was just like getting a whole different idea of like, I thought I did sales and made good money before in other sales jobs, and I was like, wait, how much did you make? Whoa.
Yeah.
And so from there I got went through the school and got licensed, took my test, and then from there joined a team. Team sites in Menifee, was very blessed to be on that team. Kind of, got a little polish from there my first year and felt good enough to go on my own. And then kind of, bounced around a few spots, and now I'm here.
And what made you come to Signature Real Estate Group in Marietta and Los Alamos?
Honestly, money talks. And I was at a point to where I was doing more deals consistently, and it made sense. I was looking at my lead sources, like where it's coming from. I'm like, it's me, so why am I giving someone else? There was another broker I was on right before here. I'm not going to say who they are. But I think I had 4 or 5 deals land in 1 month, and I gave up like $9,000 in commission, $10,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it would have been 2,000 here. So I was like, maybe thinking, and I was like, okay, that's a couple of mortgage payments, or rent my car times 6 months, whatever.
Yeah. So how long have you been in real estate now?
May it will be, let's just say 3 years, right about 3 years. I think I'm a month and a half shy.
Do you remember when we met?
Yeah, I was drunk. I was drunk.
We were at a party.
Yep. It was,
I was
yeah,
like,
it was at a party.
oh, this kid.
This is the first guest you actually remember where you met them.
Because he was memorable.
It must have made quite an impression.
Well, I knew who you were. And true, full disclosure, I had reached out to Susan, and I think I told you this once, and I actually told you that night or that day that's turned into a night and a bad headache the next day. I told her, hey, I'd reached out to you because she was running an ad or something on Instagram. It was like, you put in your info and then they contact you back. Are you licensed? Are you wanting to? And I was like, just got licensed. Nothing. 2 weeks later, I'm like, still licensed, but, never reached out. And I was like, well, so then I went, found another avenue, and I called her out on it, right as soon as I signed the dotted line with the other team I was on. I was like, you missed out. No, I know, but I'm just saying. I never got a call back, so I don't know who's running that system, but you should look into that.
They don't work here anymore.
Oh, thank God.
Because that happened, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mom didn't know.
Yeah.
Mom didn't even know.
But,
Yep.
yeah, that's kind of like how it started. And before I was, I was working a part-time job before, or I was working, actually, let me rephrase that. I was at a marketing company, doing sales at a marketing company for dental and a few different, it was dental, veterinarian, and medical. Would pitch websites and just basically, I was there at 5 in the morning because my territory was East Coast, so I was there at 5 in the morning, which actually worked out good to transition, and I was off at 2:30 or 3, and then from there I went real estate from 4 to 7, and it was basically just learning, and I did that for 6 months. Didn't see anything out of it. Had 4 deals hit at once from build up and things like that, and then bam, got my check. My mentor at the time was like, look, what do you think? I think you should go all in. If you really want to be successful, you need to take it more serious. How much can this how many can you push out your bills this long? Have you thought about? I did all of it, and I was like, I got this much time. He's like, I think it's enough time. So boom, I literally the next day quit.
Yeah.
I think it was like a Thursday, and then I quit on a Monday or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
I
how
don't
you
think
got.
I'll get a rehire from there, but I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
So
Well, sometimes you got to burn the boats, right?
yeah.
You got to say, all right, I'm committed to this. Burning the boats.
It was so cute because he was lit, and he's like, "Yeah, you missed out." And I was like, "Oh my God, you haven't even earned the right to be arrogant yet."
We were at a pool
And you
party.
got
I didn't
it.
even know anybody. Keep in mind, this was the first time I was meeting every single person on my team.
Yeah.
It turned into everybody got a little everybody had a lot of fun. It was all good fun, but yeah.
No, he
So
was
that's how it happened.
adorable and outgoing.
Yeah.
And he was like a butterfly because he was talking to everybody. And I'm like, oh, he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Because I automatically, when I meet people for the first time, I'm like, oh, I size him up.
Yeah. She has a good eye for.
I was like,
agents.
oh, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
You didn't need me. At that time, you
I
didn't.
think everybody in this business, you learn something from, and
Yeah.
gosh, I'm still a sponge. I don't even know if I'd ever stop being one.
Yeah.
Everybody, I'll pick their brain, and there's some people I just go, I never want to ever see you again because I know that's nothing I want to deal with, whether it's personal or professional. But yeah, I mean, if it's someone that I see doing business and they're doing it differently on Facebook, I'm like, boop, follow, or I'm just want to see what they're doing, or I'm not afraid. I've asked many people. I've reached out to Christian Stone before, James Shelby in the beginning. I just pick up what's working for you. I mean, unless they're complete assholes, 99.9% of them, they're not too cool to tell you what they're doing because they actually, I mean, if you're good, people help people, and I think that's. Unless you're a bad person, then
And I think
people help
Darren
people.
Hardy talks about this, is that the most successful people, if you actually reach out to them and say, hey, would you mind going to lunch or just kind of let me pick your brain kind of thing, that really separates the most successful people because they are willing to share and they do have that spirit of collaboration, whereas a lot of the lower level people that are wanting to hoard all of their information or, they're just secretive and shady and stuff like that,
Yeah.
they typically don't rise to those levels of success. And And that's why I think you've really started here at Signature a couple years back, was that spirit of collaboration.
Well, it was all you guys doing that. You know what I mean? I just built the building, and I was like, hey, let's do this in this building. And then you guys did it.
And honestly, I feel like in the beginning, too, I would ask everybody everything, and now sometimes I'm getting people asking me. Yeah. And there's so many, this is California. Yeah, it's competitive right now. It's the craziest market. If I'm putting an offer on a home that you are, I'm going to never help you out. But if it's something like what's working for you, of course. There's so many homes to be sold. There's so much business. Yep. I mean, we don't live in, a small town in, the Midwest where there's 100 agents and, 2,000 people. There's, what's there, 500,000 people in the city now, maybe more? Just in Marietta now? I don't even know. Yeah. But, and there's so many people migrating here. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I think just sharing what you know and helping people in general will come back, because there's so many homes to be sold. Everybody's, whether the market's up or down, people are buying and selling.
Big time.
Yeah, there's enough for everybody. Yeah. But, and collaboration is the key. And we used to do a call night with the Stites. And we would come over and, like have little contests and stuff. And it was fun. I love those days.
I think I don't remember if I might have missed that boat. It might have been right around the time that, because we would do call nights frequently.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'd say, I don't know if it was every weekend, but I want to say 2-3 times a week, or a month, excuse me.
Yeah,
it was motivating. It was fun.
Yeah, I like the call nights.
So what would you say works for you in your building of this business? Like, some people are cold callers, door knockers. Some people have video shows.
Right, those people.
Those people.
You can't say it's your good looks.
No, stop. Honestly,
he just walks up. I'm good looking. Want to sell your house?
I need to buy.
What I would say that I think I got instilled from the beginning was fortunes in the follow-up, which was, team sites. Getting on the phones. Thankfully, I came from a job. I remember when I was interviewing with David, he's like, have you ever made, 50, I can't remember what he said. He threw out a number. And I was like, I have to make 50 to 100 calls a day at my job. And I was like, and he asked me all these other questions. And I was like, that's what I do now.
Yeah.
So that was pretty easy to transition to. But not being afraid to talk to people, following up, being told off sometimes, it is what it is, but they don't see your face. But what's working for me now is, I think, a buildup of being consistent, having a sphere I've built, good friends referring me, social media. And I don't pull a lot from social media, but I mean, I've done a small handful, which is enough for someone to look at the end result and be like, that was worth it for sure.
Awesome.
But need to get better at that and build a podcast like you.
You could.
Blue tie hair guy.
Blue eye, no tie guy.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll figure
There's
something
the brand.
out. I'll bring you.
Well, the good news is you'll have clips from this show, and so you can start spreading those out on social media. So there you go.
Yeah, cool. So you need to say something wonderful right now.
I know, right?
Be witty and charming.
I got nothing.
Stare into the camera and don't blink.
I sell real estate. I don't know.
Please
this is my first one, so I'm sure I could get better at that. But
well, what is your favorite thing? Do you like working with buyers or listings?
Well, that's a easy question to answer, and very. Of course, listings.
Yes.
Initially, at first, I don't think anybody comes into real estate and understands that it's definitely harder to obtain listings, because I could tell you, if I didn't trust you and you wanted to sell my house and I trusted John, or I just felt this vibe, he's going to get the listing. Yeah. So but when you're inquiring on a phone call and you don't know anything about, and you're just a buyer coming in, I feel like it's a way stronger probability of you locking that person up as a client than as to getting a signed, RLA from a 45, 50-year-old person. I'm over here 34, and I'm 1 year in the business, and I don't even, when they ask me what's this on the contract, and I'm just like, well, let's read it together.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
I am going to start teaching that in boot camp.
You know what I mean? Like, it's tough. And I mean, what I actually started doing initially, the first listing I ever got, I got it full 6% too. I highlighted the certain terms that I knew would maybe come up, and I actually highlighted the ones that I think would be the ones we would talk about. So when I was on a listing agreement, I had them highlighted, so where I just brushed through them, and I went, yeah, and I knew what those were very clear, and it never came up. And at the very end, you know, I already had the RLA filled in, you know, at 6%. And what's the so what do you charge? Just the standard 6%, and that's kind of the industry term, what people say.
Yeah.
But it worked, and they're like, oh, great. It worked. You know what I mean? But it's not like I'm still doing them a service, but everybody's trying to just, you know, downgrade our commission and what we do. And yeah, we make great money, but this is like, we could have months, if you don't work, you don't work. You know, if I went to college or I was a nurse and I made 70, 80 grand a year, that's great. But like, you get that consistently. I could have months to where I could, you know,
Not have a check at all.
not have a check at all, but like, you get what you put into it. And you have to have some balls to come in this business, and thank God I did at the time, but you know, I still have balls, but you know what I'm saying?
I was going to say,
I've just
need a little self-check there.
No, I do. I'm good. I did at the time have my balls were in the right place.
Balls, contracts, sign here.
But I love that because I always say, if all else fails, read what
So-
you're doing.
So let's go one step
When in
further
doubt,
on
read
that.
it out, right? When
He
in
goes,
doubt.
let's read this together. And so they read it together, and the client's like, well, what does this mean? I can see him going, well, what do you think it means?
Yeah. Excuse me, did you read the contract? We just read it together. Look, sign here. But yeah, I don't know.
But it's true, because it is, the next purchase agreement is a little bit more complicated in my opinion. But this one, when you do read it, at least it does make sense.
Yeah.
So if you have to, you can read it, and then if you're reading it and you're paying attention, you can.
When do we
reason.
get this new contract?
December.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mandatory training on it.
Yay!
Yeah, I hope so.
16 pages. Yay!
I thought they're going to release it during the summertime. I'm like, oh, great. During the hot point of the season, they're going to switch everything up on everybody.
Yeah, I know,
Guys,
the
could you
Rona.
imagine?
Yeah, the Rona caused a pause.
The Rona pause.
Oh, and
I have
another thing I
menopause.
learned too, or just from mentors and people, is everybody, the more questions I can avoid in person, the better, unless they're the crazy, like, uncomfortable ones. But just questions that'll. Am I too far away?
Yeah, you're hitting your knee. Yeah.
Yeah, you're hitting your
The
nail.
questions that are, you know, uncomfortable,
Yeah.
I try to answer those over the phone. You know, unless that's commission, I don't really talk about that. But
Yeah.
Get a hand.
you know, just certain ones that come up, you know,
Yeah.
kind of just pre-qualifying them better.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always fun. It's just when you get better at it, it becomes more comfortable, you know, and it's an adrenaline rush at first, you know.
It
the
is.
thrill
huh?
is the deal.
It's the thrill of the deal. I like it. Very
Yeah.
well put.
Yeah. So you're off to a great start in your business for the past couple of years. I think it's fantastic you trained with the Stites team, one of the most dominant teams in this area and such. And then now you're kind of on your own path. So let's kind of rewind a little bit. And did you grow up in this area? Are you a Southern California natural
Yeah, so
born
I was
person?
originally born in New Jersey.
a Jersey boy.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm half Italian. So,
No.
Right. But
Little Frank Sinatra, young Frank Sinatra looking guy.
But yeah, I was born there, moved to Florida. Dad got a job transfer because he was in, you know, he was a CEO of a company that actually was based out of California. He used to sell and design home decor for Disneyland, California Adventure. He used to go overseas. Yeah, he was overseas like 3-4 times a year for like a month at a pop. So that was tough. When I was little, I was like, why is Dad gone for 4 months out of the year? You know, but he was like designing it, traveling on little boats to, and my dad was 6'4". He actually passed away in July, so that's why I said my dad was. But yeah, so he would like ride on these little boats and go to these design factories, you know, with these, you know, little Asian people, and he's this tall American.
I thought you were talking about the small world after all.
No, it's pretty much, well, the way he described it was, you know, something of this, you know, nature. But yeah, so that's what he did for a while. And then we came out here. I moved here in '98. And from there, I mean, I went to Chaparral around the corner.
Okay.
2005 graduated.
So you've really seen this whole area
Oh, yeah.
develop.
Yeah. The mall, I think, was built a year after I got here.
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So your dad passed away. Can we talk about that? Or
course.
is that- okay. So what happened?
Yeah,
parents?
he struggled with substance abuse, not drugs or anything. Parents got a divorce. Yeah, it was kind of just, I don't know the word for it, but he just, it was almost kind of like, was it riches to rags? Like my dad was very successful. I mean, he had a great family. I wasn't spoiled because my dad made me work for everything, like 100%. But when I did everything, like I got rewarded. I played sports my whole life, baseball. Had more expensive cleats than 3 kids combined on the team. You know what I mean? But it was because, you know, it was just my dad, again, being Italian. That's how I was raised. Certain things, but oh yeah, he just. I mean, essentially, they got a divorce, and he didn't cope with it well. Yeah, and that was tough. And I honestly didn't see him for almost 7 years because of how it just like. And I grew up a lot from what 7 years ago was. I would have been 27. Yeah, 27. So it's about 27. So it was like that turning point when I was like, I had a lot of bitterness towards it. I'm like, what the fuck, Dad? Come on, just like, you know, and I didn't understand how he felt. He missed my mom, he missed the family, and it just he couldn't pull it together. And I kind of just, you know, just put it out of sight, out of mind thing. I'm in California now doing different jobs. I got into real estate, which he was super, super happy for and like impressed and all that. But it was just so out of sight that it became comfortable because it's like, oh, I don't even see him anymore. It just felt like it was weird. But yeah, and there was just one day I got a call from my grandma, and she's like, Dad's in the hospital again, and he has, what they say, 7 to 10 days to live. And I'm like, whoa, how's this number come up? How, like, there's got to be another answer. His liver had completely shut down, and like completely. And
Cirrhosis of the liver?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's completely shut down. So me and my brother, I was actually grocery shopping at Albertsons, and it was like 6 or 7 at night. Called my brother, and that was an uncomfortable, awkward conversation. And he said all the same things I did. Like, dude, my dad's mother would never make this crap up. And so, anyways, that night I go on the internet, grab a couple tickets, hop on a plane. The next day at like 4 p.m. we land in Palm Beach, Florida, or West Palm Beach. I'll remember this like yesterday. Land there, get our rental car, me and my brother, because we're close in age. We're 2 years apart. We used to be close, so we're not as much anymore. But we just know how to push each other's buttons. And I think we're so frustrated with what's going on. Everything was going on. They lost one of his luggage, I believe. It was just every shitstorm that could have happened. We were arguing the whole way there on like an hour and a half ride from the airport to there. I remember we got into a verbal, swearing match, and I told him to get out of the car. He gets out of the car. I drove off. I felt bad. He's in Florida on the side of the damn turnpike. I'm like, what? So I turn around. I go pick him up. Gets in. It was ridiculous. And I get to the house, my grandpa's house, where my dad was, and he's already like in a bed, like hospice, already there.
Wow.
And that was at about midnight. And then he was coherent, and just you could tell he was in a lot of pain. And we talked to him for a little bit, and he said, I hadn't seen him in 7 years. And my grandma said, my aunt, his sister said, do you know who this is? And like, open your eyes. And I was like, Dad. And like, he knew he could hear, because they say the last thing that goes is your hearing. And it's the last thing the nurse said is that goes is hearing. And I could tell he did. And he opens up. And then my aunt goes, do you know who this is? And then he goes, yes, it's Jackie Chan. That's exactly what he said. Yes, it's Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
And he started laughing.
Oh.
Was that like an inside joke with you guys?
No, we was just joking.
Being a smart.
I didn't know the relevance, but he looked at me, and then he was like, I started laughing, and then he showed his eyes, and he just like laughed like that too. He knew it was a joke. My dad was always a jokester, but it was just funny. But he knew we were there. But and then they kind of just turned up the comfortability for him, and and then fast forward like 2 o'clock in the morning. That was it.
Wow, that was fast.
Jeez.
I was and they told me 7 to 10 days.
Wow.
It's a good thing you made it out there, man.
And I wasn't purposely gonna wait. It was kind of just like, I don't remember, and it was even stupid to think. I don't know if I had something with work. I was like, oh, I can wait till Monday or Sunday. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, no, I didn't feel good about it. So
Yeah, that intuitive hunch,
Yeah.
that spirit nudge.
yeah. And then plus my aunt was there. I hadn't seen her in years. Grandma. I was like, yeah, we just went, but I couldn't even believe it. It was like he definitely, God's prevalent, and he waited. I mean, he might have made it 7 days if I was there on the 7th day. I don't know,
man. You shouldn't have got there so quickly.
I know. But I mean, he was in pain regardless, and but it was. I almost feel like, and people say this, and I've only heard it from people say it that are that's happened to like they can finally let go type of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. I don't know how your body can just be okay. Now I'm gonna stop working. But his stopped working at that point. I mean, it was literally I would give him hugs, kisses, the whole family. The dog was in there, Zeus, pit bull that he loves because we had a pit boxer before he left. Her name was Molly, so he got another. Like pit bulls are the great dogs. People think they're not. They're very, very good, loving dogs. And it was like Zeus was up there on the bed with him and passed away.
So have you processed all that yet? I know it's only been not even a year.
I would say the first 3 to 4 months were, that phase where you go in and out of it for sure. But now it's just kind of more of those, one of those things. I'm on the freeway in between appointments and then it happens.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound selfish. Like I'm thankful that I'm working because if not, I'd just be at home kind of, not at home, but I'd just have more time to dwell over it. And I almost sometimes feel guilty that I don't dwell more over it, but I don't think that's what anybody would want. But it was bad in the beginning, but now it's like the more I can keep my mind off it, the better. But yeah, it's really weird. Like when certain things, it's so hard to explain. Like certain things are just all of a sudden it's going off for like 3 hours, and then other times it's like 2 days can go by and it's okay, But
yeah.
I don't know. When you're close with your dad growing up and everything, it's really, and it happens like that, not at old age, it's rough.
Yeah. How old was he?
Gosh, he would have turned 59. Or no, he was 59, so he would have turned 60 November 11th.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was 59.
Yeah, I lost my mom when I was 16, and she was 38. And the year after she died, for about a year or two, I couldn't remember what she looked like. Because the mind is so strong to block those things out, at least my mind was. And then, so that denial and, all those processes and stages of grief that they talk about and stuff like that, I definitely checked all those boxes. Then I discovered psychedelics, and then I can go hang out with her in a different kind of world. And I was like, oh, this is great.
I knew I was on the right podcast.
Yeah. Have you ever tried DMT?
No, it depends. I'll do it if Susan does it.
You shouldn't say things to me like that.
Woo, do you think she needs anything extra?
No, she's naturally just,
She has a good time.
High spirits.
I'd love to be inside of her head sometimes.
Oh my God.
Maybe not.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy in there.
It's a great imagination. I keep it going ping pong back and forth.
Well, thanks for sharing all that, because that's, we can talk about real estate, and real estate's a real estate business, but at the end of the day, it's about people, and it's about stories. And, real estate's fine and dandy and stuff, but going underneath the surface there and really seeing, because we're all human, we're all going to lose parents, we're all going to lose someone that we love. And it's nice when people kind of share that, so thanks for doing that, man.
Of course.
And when you get older, they start dropping like flies. It's like, what? Gone. I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, I'm actually on the list.
Well, yeah, it's like
of next.
You're on the queue and you're just getting closer to it. Like, oh man.
Okay. 60. 60 is the new 59.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to tell you something.
Sure.
Your dad would be proud of you.
Thank you.
And I believe in God and I believe in heaven. And he would be really proud of you. And I found that after both of my parents passed away, my first panic was, are you sure you want to leave me in charge? You sure you can check out now? Because I'm next here. And that was my first concern. But the second one was I wanted to live my fullest life in tribute to theirs. And I found that my life completely changed after my mom and dad were gone. And just stepped in you know, stepped in to live it.
That's funny you say that because it's so weird you say that, and I don't know if it's just like I was telling. Yeah, it's weird that you said that. Like literally, I got off the plane when I came back to California, and then I had got a call from someone I was competing with on a listing in Vista, and they finally kind of just it was a hey, we want to sell, but we want to look first, and this is before the market was bonkers, and contingent sales were just kind of not a thing, especially before your house is under contract. But anyways, this was back in I think July or something. Anyways, regardless, I get off the plane. I'm like, hey, I can't make it right now. I didn't even want to bore them with my whole drama that happened. But I said, hey, I'm available tomorrow. Drive down to Vista. At the time, it was one of the higher, I think it was the highest listing I got. Took it at 640. We sold it, or 615. They wanted 640. We got them 670 at the end because they just want, you know. But next day, signed contract, walk out of the house. Took it at full price commission. I was willing to go down, but I just stood my ground. But well, anyways, walk out and he goes, my neighbor's gonna be so mad at you. And I was like, why? Next door neighbor on the left-hand side, woman, a realtor. She's a realtor, and he's like, I don't like her. But when she sees your sign, I was like, whoa. And I don't really know this guy. This came from like an online, before Zillow, it was the complete enemy.
Yeah.
They always have, but that's when I liked him at this point. And then turns out list their home, did a contingent sale with home in Fallbrook, $980,000. So within 25, I don't even, less than that probably, 5 days on market. 2 weeks, I had almost 1.65 in escrow, and I was like, what the? I was like, oh. You know, what's going on here?
What up, Dad?
What up, Dad? And then all of a sudden things just started kind of like happening, and I was a little bit of, you know, being in the right place, right time, but just like a little more confidence, just like, you know, just it was weird, but literally that was, and I remember just like driving home after that listing, and I was like, thank you, because like I knew what I was going to make in my head off that listing, and I was like, holy shit, I just drove to Vista, and I'm going to make amount of dollars, like what? That was new to me. So
no, it's powerful, man.
And then I locked up basically $1 million home for them on their buy side. It was cool.
That's what I love about this business is the journey and adventure of it.
Yeah.
Because it's adrenaline.
Sometimes you go through those valleys, you're like, oh, this sucks. This is tough. I don't see where my next deal is going to come from. And all of a sudden you go down this this twisty road, and all of a sudden there's just gold mines and amazing things to look at, and it's just beautiful, you know. And it's and then you hit another valley. And
Right.
It's the journey of this business.
Yep.
You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite color?
Gosh, that's a tough question. I like wearing black, but it's not a color. Favorite color? That's a tough one. I like blue because I don't know, I have blue eyes and feel like it works for me in situations. But I don't know. I like wearing black, and I don't wear like all black. I don't know what it is. I like black.
I'm a black girl
Solid
too.
color.
Yeah, it's solid. I mean,
Okay, favorite food?
Mexican.
Ooh.
Can't go wrong with Mexican, Southern California. Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Favorite sport?
Baseball. Dodgers.
Oh, I was going to say what team?
Of course.
Are you a diehard team?
Of course. Dodgers all day, yeah. Check out my Instagram. It's real estate, a picture or two of me and friends or whatever, and then Dodgers, then real estate picture of me, and Dodgers. It's pretty,
Pretty incorporated into your life, yeah.
Married or single?
it's a... I'm
negotiating contract.
No. Yeah, I'm
You're
definitely...
prospecting?
No, yeah. I mean, that's kind of a rough question, but yeah, I've been...
Well, not about the relationship, just the status. Not like if you have a girlfriend. You're single,
I guess
right?
open to negotiations. That'd be
Active under contract.
Active under contract. Yeah.
Active under contract.
Exactly.
At least it's not
Escrow hasn't
withdrawn or
closed yet,
canceled.
ladies.
Right.
Yeah.
So submit backup offers. Thing.
That's a good one. I like that.
Do you
That's a
like
good
being single? It's hard.
Yeah, honestly, it's not so much I like being single. I just think I'm at a point to where if there's any more drama in my life that doesn't, it's not conducive to my lifestyle as far as like either just knowing what I do or understanding that it's like my life's stressful or just coping well and being supportive. I mean, I just turned 34. It's like no one really wants to date a real estate agent. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but they don't understand, like, yeah, we can make great livings, but there's a lot of stress, and it's like a good support system, I think, is huge. And I think that's what will make someone, you know, I think it's amazing if they can, because if I was not in real estate and I was dating a woman that was in real estate and that was like building a business and killing it, I'd be like, I'm out of here.
It's hard.
You know what I mean? Unless she broke it down for me in a way that I understood, because it's tough.
Yeah.
But I think I'm hoping to get to a point, and I have been recently, depending on, like Heather said at the meeting, unless it's certain times or certain waiting for a call, like I just look and I'm like, this fucking guy. 11:30, you're asking about this home. No.
Yeah,
No. You know,
Right?
absolutely. Well, or just, you know, just like when you're like,
Yikes.
they just think they're getting that comfortable zone.
Yeah.
And no, like it's.
Yeah.
But before, when I was younger, I'd be like, yeah, let's go check it out. No, like, it
See you
can't
there at
wait.
1 a.m.
Yeah. You got to be professional.
Yeah,
They'll
unless-
treat you professional when you behave professional.
Exactly.
Yeah. When you act like one. Okay, so what's your favorite thing to cook?
Gosh. I cook like a bachelor, to be honest.
Macaroni and cheese.
No, it's just more like I just kind of like, I mean, because I do exercise a lot, so it's like I try to, so if I try to come to the office, and Susan knows, and sometimes my days are, you know, emotional roller coasters, and I'm here early, or sometimes I'm here a little later, whatever, like I just bring food, and I mean, it's rice and ground turkey. Is that your answer?
Yes.
No, chicken. I cook steak. I cook all that. I just try to cook it in more of like a 2-3 day fashion, you know?
Sure.
The last thing I want to do, because I try to keep my place really clean, is like mess up my kitchen every night, 8 o'clock at night, and just like, I just rather do it 1-2 times a week, you know? And just put them in little Ziplocs and be done with it. Or I can go over to the Mexican place, which I do a couple times a week. But other than that, it's like kind of basic stuff. That's why.
I think you cook like a bachelor, but you actually cook like a healthy human.
I just don't eat fast food. I love In-N-Out. I love Mexican food.
Taco Bell, Del Taco.
If I'm like coming home from Old Town, you know, fun night with some friends, yeah, I'll be at Jack in the Box and spend $32. No problem.
A lot of tacos.
Two tacos,
99
French
cents.
fries,
Yeah.
jalapeno poppers, and a chocolate shake and
Oh,
a root
yeah.
beer. That was mine.
That
was my
literally
Jack in the
it.
Box go-to.
And
Yep.
a bacon ultimate cheeseburger, which
Oh.
no longer looks the same. If you've seen them, they don't even look the same like they used to. No.
Doesn't even look like it's real bacon.
Well, it doesn't. The whole thing just changed. When I was in high school, they like just
Yeah.
doesn't even look the same.
No, they let it go.
Okay, so where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That's a good question, and I've thought about that in my head and never really had an answer because it's always in my head.
Okay, professionally, where do you see yourself? And then personally, where do you see yourself?
Okay, those are good questions too. Professionally, I'd like to be doing more business. 75% if I can focus more on listings, developing that niche, whatever, to getting there. That road of finding out how to get there and be able to stick to that and be in a position to only want to work with listings, I think would be something I still need to figure out. Probably look more into coaching, and I've done a coaching program, which I won't say, but I wasn't too impressed with. Kind of burned some money there and got a bad taste in my mouth. Learn from as many people as I can to see what worked for them, not recreate the wheel.
Yeah.
You know, just figure out what works and duplicate. And just sell more real estate. And eventually a long-term goal would be able to sell, you know, maybe switch cities and go into something a little higher end. That would be an end goal for me. But then again, the whole concern, or not concern, the fear of how do I break into that market at a $2+ million starting price point. It's something I'll need to figure out. But I think networking, knowing a lot of people will help. That would be the long-term goal, sell more high-end listings, build my business there. But, you know, put in the time here residentially, and then hopefully have it, you know, network
Okay,
more.
and then where personally?
Well,
Do you want to have kids?
of course. I mean, I don't think I'm sterile yet, but
Working on it?
no, yeah, I'd love to have kids. I'd love to have, I'd love to have kids.
Boys
Love to
or
have a
girls?
I don't know. For some reason, if it all pans out, like in a perfect world, 2 boys and 1 girl. That was my idea.
Do you know their names?
No, I haven't thought about that.
That's exciting.
I don't even know the woman's name that I'm having them with, let alone my kids. Stop. But yeah, that's kind of the end goal. But if not, I'd be cool with honestly, at this point, if I had one or two, you know, but I've always wanted definitely a son.
And then you'll teach him how to play baseball?
That'll be the goal, you know. And I think I started playing when I was 3 or 4.
Really? What position did you play?
Shortstop.
Really? So you could run,
I could run.
and no one was chasing you.
Well, shortstop's just generally short and center are the strongest athlete, and catcher are the strongest athletes on the field.
Yeah,
I
my
had a
brother
good
was
arm.
a catcher. I loved baseball. It was fun.
Yeah, my dad was a catcher. He played in front of President Ford in the Little League World Series.
He did?
Wow.
That's a nice little legacy to pass on to your grandbaby.
Yeah.
When you're the grandfather.
Right. It's true.
Well, Susan, final thoughts?
I have a lot of final thoughts, but do you want me to share them?
Final thoughts about Anthony?
Please do. I need to know the crystal ball.
Well, we know we don't have a crystal ball. First of all, I want to pay you a compliment because ever since you got here, you've been a humble kid. And I call you a kid because you're young, but I know you're a man, just so you know. But I think the most impressive thing and quality that you have shown is that you've learned a lot of things. And it was different than what you expected some of the answers to be. But even though you're learning new things, you still are like, oh, I'm learning something new.
Yeah.
And you've
And you
handled
bank it, yeah.
You've handled it with grace. And you're like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, wait, I just learned something new.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm proud of you for that. Because sometimes we come in and we can come into an environment like this and we actually do think we know more than we know. And then when you're willing to learn, your career is going to flourish. And so I'm glad that you're here with all of these kids that are just really smart.
Right.
And I'm the same thing with coaching. You just talk to these guys and you have the coaching. You know,
Yeah, I
don't be
appreciate
afraid
that.
to use them.
Yeah, I go in her office, and what did I say the other day? I said, "You're going to kill me. We're going into a lawsuit." Or what did I say? I think we have.
He likes
and
to tease me.
No, I was kidding because I know it's like her.
He likes to tease me.
I was joking, but I just had a contract question that I've never ran into, and she handled it, and I was like, "Cool." But
Yeah.
Just
I
tell
thought
you
it
to
was-
read it together.
no.
But I will from
But-
now on.
She told me to restart my computer at one point. Computer's not working. She was, but I think whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of funny. But yeah, there's
Oh,
some
yeah, the
things you
zip
just run
forms,
into.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Zip
some things you
forms
run into.
glitch.
You're like,
Yeah.
man, there's 2 buttons to click on the
Yes.
RPA or the listing. You're like,
Yeah.
this looks
Or the
really
worst is
daunting to
when-
do right now.
Yeah.
You know what it is, and you read it, and it says what it says, but then there can be an agent on the other side that is
Yeah.
so convincing, and then makes you question, like, okay, I've been doing this for 13 years,
Yeah.
and have I been wrong for 13 years?
Yeah.
You're like, and
Yeah.
then you find out that you were right, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to send that agent an email
Yeah,
about how
yeah.
right I am.
But the thing is that I believe you're a leader, and I believe you'll be a leader in the industry.
Yep.
And leaders never stop learning.
Yep.
And so just always keep that in your mind. I am a leader, and I need to keep learning because that's how you teach people as you continue to learn. So I am humbled and honored that you're here,
appreciate it.
and you have changed so much since the first day I met you. and I.
Hope that's a good thing.
And it is, but there wasn't a bad thing the first time I met you either. So, all of the things that I thought you were that first day have turned out to be the mature, exquisite, articulate professional that you are today, and I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
And I look forward to watching you grow and get married and have babies and give me grandchildren and.
Well, I gotta afford them first. So. No, but
Well-
I appreciate that.
You're on your way. You've had a very successful career out of the gate. I think you're in the right place to the right people, saying the right
Yeah.
things to the right people, and I see nothing but success for you. So that is why you were under the spotlight here at the Signature Studio Spotlight Series with Susan Ebert, John Butler, the ball guy in the red tie, and Anthony Lauria.
Gloria.
Thank you for saying that, so that way we knew how to pronounce your name.
It took, what,
not
five-
Lauria,
But you
Lowry.
will
Fine.
become a song
Yeah.
now
It's
for
okay.
the rest of the
It's all
time.
right. It's all right.
And that's it for this episode. So thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. See you in escrow. Bye.
You're so
cool.